Good morning and welcome to the I'mWinningAtLife.com podcast. So, last week I took you climbing with me and we talked a lot about fears and how fears control you and how you can change those fears and what you can do to change your life related to the fears that you may have. So, hopefully you spent some time and you looked at some of your fears and how they control you and the things that you can do in your life to change your circumstances when it comes to those fears. Now, I know it's a process. It'll take you some time. If you didn't check it out last week, go back, check it out, and work on those fears and work on conquering them, because I promise you can. So this week, I want to talk about something kind of related to fears that's going on with everybody. So we are in, at my work, massive budget cuts right now. We got a lot going on. The market right now is contracting really bad, especially in the industry that I'm in, and so I want to talk to you a little bit about change. So I want to give you a little story about what I sat through last week and kind of where it went and my take on it versus the take that I had from a lot of the people that I had to go explain how things were going to be and the changes we're going to have to make. So I sat in a budget meeting last week. And during that budget meeting, we were talking about my annual budget. My annual budget is in the millions right now, and we've gone through that budget really rapidly. Although the amount of work we're producing is like nothing you've seen before in my group. Like our production efficiency has gone up astronomically. But at the same time, we're sitting in this budget meeting. The markets are contracting right now given everything going on in the world, which I'm sure you can probably relate to, right? Some of you are probably sitting at home right now, on quarantine, not sure what to do. Jobs aren't working right now. A lot of places are closing down because of everything going on in the world with just everything going on. And it's really tough for people. So people are really contracting right now. And there's this underlying fear that everybody has that things are not going to be okay. I see it all the time. But anyway, so I sat in this budget meeting and we're looking at our budget and we're sitting there and I'm talking with my boss and a couple people that are below me, and we're going over the budget and there's just not money to do the things that we need to do, right? Yet we still have to get the work done. It's just plain and simple. There's no way to say, oh, we're just not going to do the work. We just have to figure out how to do it and still pump out the things that absolutely have to happen to keep the industry that I'm in running and to keep my job and my piece of the puzzle running where I'm at. So I get told we're out of money. You need to cut by 40% in everything you do. So I go through this budget meeting and our budget team's stressing out because they're trying to go and get more money. Granted, I'm part of a very, very large corporation or business, and so they're trying to figure out how they're going to get more money and funnel it to my group. And there just isn't any money. We have to pull back. We have to contract. And the two people I'm with that are under me are kind of looking, and they're good with it, but they're kind of in disbelief. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm actually really excited because there's this contraction going on. And I truly believe that when things get difficult, that is the opportune time for people. So most people, when there's change that's needed, or there's this contraction that's happening, or things aren't going quite right, people tend to want to contract with the markets and they tend to want to shy away from it and they get scared. Well, not me. For me, I always look at it, whenever there's a challenge, there is something that can be learned in that challenge. There is always greater potential for growth in the most difficult times. Now, nobody likes difficult times. That's true. But when you get used to taking the right approach to difficult times or to change, you realize that the more difficult it is, the greater opportunity for change. Most people, I think, in life don't really look at this fact. So I'm sitting there and I go through the budget meeting, and I am almost ecstatic by the time we get out. And I go back to my office, and I don't know, 20, 30 minutes later, up comes one of the gentlemen who works with me, and he's like, man, I gotta talk to you. And I'm like, what's up? And he's like, I can't, he's got this big grin on his face. He's like, I don't even know. He's like, that's crazy how you're like so excited for it. And so we started talking about it, and I explained my feelings on it. And I'm like really passionate about this end of it. So when you think about it, okay, if somebody came up and told you, man, you got to cut by 40% everything you do, right? Most people go, oh my gosh, there's no way I can do it. Like, it's never gonna work. We have to do this. We have to do that. It's just not gonna work. And I hear it all the time, okay? I disseminated this to the group of people that work for me, and that's what I got back for the most part. Oh, well, there's no way. We can't do what we need to do. We can't operate like that. There's no way we can still produce the work without having the budget. It's just never gonna work. And I sat there and I'm like, you know what? It'll never work for you. It won't work for you because you don't seem to understand. You just don't seem to understand the opportunity that lies in the challenge, okay? So for some people, if you're gonna shy away from it, I guarantee you'll never be able to do it, right? I guarantee you. If you're gonna shy away from that challenge and that opportunity, then you're never gonna do the things that are necessary to get it done, okay? So out of the people that I'm working with, I realize, and it's not just at work, it happens all over the place in people's lives. It probably happens in your life to some degree too. But you think about it, right? And you realize you're faced with a challenge and you're faced with a problem, and you have to make this change, right? And change is really difficult for people. People just don't want to seem to do it, right? When it's forced upon you, you really don't want to do it. Now, people themselves can change if they choose to change, and it's a process, and it's not always the easiest thing, but it can be done. But you gotta start with taking a different outlook on life. You have to stop when things get tough, and you have to say, you know what? I'm not going to run. I'm not gonna shy away from it. I am gonna go at this thing head on, and I'm gonna tackle it. And no matter what comes my direction, I will push harder and harder until I finally break through and get what needs to happen. So I look at this and I walked away from it, and I'm loving the challenge. To me, it's like a big game, right? How can I produce more work with less money, with less people, with less resources? How am I gonna do it? What do I have to do? And when all's said and done, and I've completed that, and I've succeeded at it, because I'll be damned if I don't succeed at it this point. Once I've succeeded at it, now I'm in a stronger position a year from now when things stabilize a little bit. Think about it. So when you think about a challenge in your life and you think about the change that's sometimes necessary, I want you to stop and realize it definitely can be really difficult, okay? And it can be really scary, and it goes back to that fear. Sometimes we let that fear rule us and say, you know what, I'm gonna do what I've always done. Well, I can tell you, if you always do what you've always done, you're always gonna be in the same place. I guarantee it. You have to choose to do something more and beyond what you always do. Because if you don't do that, you're gonna be right where you were before. So think about your life for a few minutes. Think about the challenges you have in your life right now. And I guarantee you, given everything in the world, that you've got some challenges, right? There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of anxiety. Markets are contracting right now. People are losing money. People are losing faith. People are scared. People's family members are potentially getting sick, right? You may be losing that job right now, or you may be stuck at home. But I'm gonna ask you, in all of that fear and change, and all of that trouble that's in front of you, what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna sit there and you're gonna cry about it? Or are you gonna just do nothing? Are you just gonna accept it as your fate and let it rule you? Or are you gonna choose to make a difference with that change? Are you gonna choose to tackle that problem head on and go for it. So, whatever is in front of you in life, at any point in time, what I want you to do is assess it. Take a few minutes, look at what it is, look at what's in front of you, go ahead and write it down. And I'm going to tell you that a lot as we go through these podcasts. I'm going to tell you a lot that you want to write things down. And the reason being is that you want to really think about what's in front of you. When you write it down, you spend a few minutes, it really puts it on paper, it really kind of solidifies it right in front of you so you can't run from it. And so you're not confused, right? It'll help you to think about it when you write it down and you look at it. So you're going to write it down, and then you're going to figure out, how am I going to conquer this problem? Okay? And it's going to be scary, and it's going to be hard sometimes, and you're going to sit there and tell yourself, I can't do it. I can't make the change. But I guarantee you, if you choose to, that you will. I guarantee you that you can make the change that's necessary. So, you've written it down now, you're thinking about it, and you've got it very clear what change is in front of you or what has to happen that's difficult, right? And then you're gonna figure out, what goals do I need to set to get past it? What do I need to do to overcome this problem? How am I gonna solve it, right? What is the end result that I want, okay? What needs to happen to move past where I'm at right now, right? And you may not have control over that situation, but you have control over what you do. And that is all you need, is control over what you do, okay? So now that you know that, you can set those goals for yourself, and you can take that thing on, whatever that challenge is, and you can make it into a game for yourself, right? You can make it into a game that you can win at every single time. Because when people play, they play to win usually. Nobody plays a game to lose. So you make it into a game, and that you push at until you win, right? You push and you push. You set your little goals, right? And those little goals get accomplished, and as those little goals get accomplished, they turn into big goals, and as those big goals get accomplished, you pick up more steam, and then you soon figure out that the bigger objectives are getting fulfilled, and next thing you know, that challenge isn't quite a challenge anymore. And after you've gone through that for long enough and you've pushed through that trouble and that difficulty, you'll realize that it doesn't even exist anymore. You've already beaten it. You've already won the game. You've beat the system, and it's no longer a challenge. The change has already taken place. And then when you step back and you look at what happened, if you truly analyze it after the fact, I think you'll realize that you changed. It wasn't that the circumstances outside of you changed, and maybe they did a little bit, but it wasn't so much about what was outside of you changed, it's that you changed. You figured out how to adapt to the situation. You figured out what was needed to move past that problem, okay? Move past that problem that's related to that fear. You solved it. So, I can tell you right now, I'm in the middle of a 40% cut, right? I'm in the middle of people that work for me. They're scared and they're worried because that's what's going on in the world right now. That's what is going on, right? People are scared and they're worried and they're fearful, right? They're worried about their families. They're worried about their jobs. They're worried about paying their bills. They're worried about their loved ones. They're worried about their health. They're worried, right? And I'm telling you, you don't have to be. You can choose to make the changes that are necessary to move beyond that. So, let's take some of the things that are probably going on in your life right now, and let's look at what you can do with it, right? So right now, let's say you're in an industry and it's contracting really bad, and you're at home right now and you're not making any money, right? And you don't know what to do. I'm totally lost. I'm fearful. I'm fearful that I can't pay my rent. I can't do anything. I'm not going to be able to support my kids, my family. I won't be able to buy food. I won't be able to turn on the lights or the gas and get heating. I just don't know what to do, right? You always have a choice, okay? You always have a choice. So your choice right now is to do nothing and let the situation control you, or to do something, anything, and take control of the situation. No matter how little control it starts out with, and how little of a difference it makes, okay? You have that choice. You always have that choice. So, right now, you make the choice that you're gonna do something, okay? And then you decide what it is that I need to do. What do I need to do right now to move past this problem, to make the change that's necessary, right? So you can choose to go out and look for another job. You can choose to find other ways of earning money. And I ain't talking about like robbing people or selling drugs, okay? We're not talking about the stuff that you probably shouldn't be doing anyways, okay? We're talking about legitimate things. You can start a business. You can do all sorts of stuff, right? And this is the thing that I've been telling everybody I work with, right? Right now, everything is contracting. Everybody's contracting, right? Everybody's pulling back. And I know that you can't move ahead when you're pulling back. There's no way. There's no way that you are going to get ahead in life if you are pulling back, okay? So, while everybody else is pulling back, you need to stop and realize there is going to be, and already is, and will continue to be, phenomenal opportunity for all sorts of people. We're talking everybody. Everybody's gonna have the opportunity. It's a matter of what are you gonna do to go out there and take the opportunity? Are you gonna take the challenge? Are you gonna go play the game? And are you gonna win at it? That's the only question you gotta ask yourself. Are you willing to do something different than what you're doing right now to get to where you wanna go? Are you willing to make the change? Are you willing to walk the path to get what you wanna get? Okay? So, take some time, think about it, and I wanna see what happens with it. I want you to stop and look at what happens with it, right? When you're faced with a really difficult challenge, I want you to turn it into a game. I want you to have some fun with it, enjoy it, and then go win the game. Go out there, play the game like you actually want to frickin' win for once. Don't go out there and play it half-assed. Don't go out there and be marginal about it. Go out there and do it, okay? Just go do it. Do what's necessary, take the steps, move forward, and win in whatever it is that you want to do. Don't be afraid, and don't be afraid to change for sure, because you gotta change, and sometimes the most difficult moments are guaranteed the most rewarding. There's no other way to put it. It seems hard, but think about it. The person that is farther behind has the most to gain. Okay? And anybody can get to anywhere they want to go in life. I'm a firm believer in that. Okay? You can do whatever it is that you want to do. It doesn't matter as long as you're willing to put in the work to get there. If you're willing to put in the work and you're willing to change yourself until you actually have what you want, then you can have it. Now, if you're going to go about it half-assed, I guarantee you ain't going to get it, period. Okay? You gotta be willing to do it. You gotta be willing to make the change. Do not contract. Do not be scared. Just go do what you gotta do and get it done. And sooner rather than later, you will find that you'll be winning in anything that you want to do. It's just that simple. So embrace the change and go for it. Thank you for listening. Next week, I'm not quite sure what we're going to talk about because I haven't gotten that far yet, but I guarantee you it's going to be something that you're going to want to hear, okay? Because I guarantee you, as you listen, I'm going to change your life for you.